New York Stock Exchange. Well, Beazer shares plunging 17% today on those bankruptcy rumors. Rumors the company calls unfounded and scurrilous. Just yesterday, shares of American Home Mortgage diving 90% in a single day on word that it is having money problems and may have to liquidate. Bad news, yes, but is the overall market as bad as everyone is making it out to be? John Saros says no. He is the president of North Atlantic Mortgage Corporation, but Peter Schiff disagrees. He is author of Crash Proof. So, John, you're saying it's not that bad. Explain.
Well, I think this is very overblown. You know, of the $10.3 trillion of mortgages in this country, only $1.3 trillion are the subprime loans. 87% of those loans are being paid on time. And that's the part of the story that you're not hearing. The good news, however, is that the lending industry right now is cleansing itself. And that has to happen every 7 to 10 years. It gets rid of the bad blood. And it promotes positive change. Changes such as going back to standard underwriting guidelines that utilize common sense and are less risky for these lenders and less risky for the borrowers.
All right, but Peter, you're not buying that. Why not?
Not for a minute. You know, first of all, it's not about the subprime and the subprime contagion to the rest of the market. It's the entire mortgage market that's infected with this disease. It's just that the subprime area is where the symptoms first surfaced. But the problem is in arms. You know, for the last several years, many people have bought homes that they cannot afford, prime, subprime, and, you know, using adjustable rate mortgages. And the only reason that they can afford them was because they had a temporary period, whether it's 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, where the payments were artificially low. And sometimes they used negative amortization or interest only. But as these payments reset to higher levels, the majority of people who have these loans simply can't afford to make the payments.
All right, now that's a crucial distinction there, Peter. If you're right, you're saying the majority of people who have these loans are going to be in deep
That's
trouble.
right. And a lot of the people...
Now, wait a minute. Wait. That's not happened yet. All right, so...
Because they haven't reset yet.
All right, well, wait a minute. The 13% who are late now and the 87% are not. Are you saying that's going to flip?
Yeah, it's going to keep growing. And
to
you know,
what?
the majority, I don't know, but look, the majority of these people who bought homes put little or nothing down, so they have very little incentive to even stretch to make these higher payments. And the problem is a lot of people who bought these homes basically are going to end up paying twice what these homes are actually worth. So
all right, John, what do you think of that? If Peter's
true.
right, it's going to get worse. You're saying it's contained or what?
It's contained, but let's look at the facts here. You know, buyer beware. You want to blame everything on the mortgage industry. I don't think you could do that. You know, there's got to be common sense for the buyers and for the consumer as well. Bottom line is, you know whether or not you could afford a mortgage payment or not. And if you don't even know that, then you shouldn't be buying a house at all. But, I mean, you can always get advice
But, John,
from
are you worried about a point that Peter, and he's mentioned it before in this show, that mortgage lenders themselves get defensive and they don't want to risk having bad loans on their books? So even people who would heretofore qualify are not qualifying, and that kind of spirals.
Well, I think that over the years, when we were really busy, when the market was busy, you know, lenders do overextend themselves. They do expand on the underwriting guidelines.
So do you think it will get worse?
I don't think it'll get worse. I think you're going to see a peak on this situation probably toward the end of 2007. Things will probably peak out.
But
Peter,
you're arguing it will get worse, right?
Well, yeah, I've been doing these shows for a long time, and everybody keeps telling me it's the bottom, it's not going to get worse. I'm one of the few people who's consistently been right on this issue. The problem is, you know, people did buy homes they couldn't afford. They knowingly committed to mortgages they couldn't afford because they thought they were going to get rich on real estate appreciation. They bet wrong. But the problem is they bet with other people's money because they didn't put down payments.
Well, Peter, it could still happen, right? I mean, you could look at a snap judgment here and say, yeah, that's the case for now.
No,
but the market could rebound, right?
No, it's going a lot lower. We're just starting.
I mean, we'll also say the
guys,
same thing.
I wish we had more time. You argue your points well. John and Peter, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, maybe stocks are all over.